Today we're going to look at linear solving. Now the biggest key to linear solving is treating it like a balance or a scale. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So if you're adding 8 grams to one side, you have to add 8 grams to the other. So in this example here, I want to get rid of the 8 and move it to the right hand side. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. I can do a similar thing to get the 2x over. I can subtract 2x from both sides. So this leaves me with 2x equals 25, and then we can divide both sides by 2, giving me x equals 12.5 for an answer. When you have a question like this, it's easiest to simplify things first. So multiply out the brackets, square the 8, and then I like to collect like terms on each side. And then I will move things to each side. So I need to add 5x both sides. So 13x plus 5x is 18x. And then 122 plus 18 is 140. And then I divide both sides by 18, giving me x approximately 7.78. Now this example, we have fractions. I find the easiest way to deal with these is to get rid of the fractions first. So I find what the lowest common denominator is, and in this case that'll be 24. I multiply every single term by 24. And then we start simplifying. We get 18x plus 15 equals 92. Now it's just a linear equation that is fairly easy to solve. So 18x equals 77, divide by 18, and x is approximately 4.28. Now sometimes with fractions there's a few ways to go. In this particular example, it's actually just easier to add 3/4 to both sides. Now we can cross multiply. And remember, we can only cross multiply when you have a fraction equal to a fraction. Multiply out each side. Now I moved the x's to the right hand side and the non-x's to the left, giving me, and then divide both sides by 659. Give me x approximately 0.416. Okay, now let's do some word problems. This here is a mixture problem, and I find the best way to approach a mixture problem is with these little diagrams. So you have two things that you're mixing together to make a third. Now the first thing, you don't know how much there is, but you know there's 6.6% tin. The second one, you know there's 12 kilograms and that it's 18.7% tin. And we don't know how much of the final, but we know it's 13.4% tin. Now when we're adding things together, the final is going to be the x plus 12 for your mass. Now your equation is just going to be the amount of tin in each. So 0.066x plus 0.187 times 12 equals 0.134 times x plus 12. Multiply things out, collect like terms. We'll end up with negative 0.068x equals negative 0.636. Divide both sides by the 0.068 to get x to be approximately 9.35. So therefore, you need to add 9.35 kilograms of bronze with 6.6% tin. Right, here we have a relatively simple financial problem, and it's involving cell phone plans and comparison of them. Now for plan A, I'm going to let C equal 45 plus 4G. And for plan B, I'm going to let C equal 40 plus 6G. Now C is just the cost of the plan, in dollars obviously, and G is going to be the amount of gigabytes per month. Now, to compare them, we just set them equal to each other. We get 5 equals 2G, G will equal 2.5. So we can make a couple conclusions now. It'd be 2.5 gigabytes would cost the same under each plan. And then it wants to know if you're going to use 8 gigabytes a month, which plan would be best. So using 8 gigabytes, plan A would be best. Right? If you're only going to use 1 or 2 gigabytes a month, then plan B would best. Our last example is a flow rate question. Now, remember that rate is an amount over time. And all our equations will be variations on this. So, our first part says pipe A can fill a tank in 10 hours. And it runs for 30 minutes more than pipe B. Pipe B runs for 6 hours, so total of 6.5 hours for pipe A. Pipe B is open for a total of 6 hours, but we don't know how long it would take. And this is a final amount of 1. Now we can simplify and solve. There's a few ways to do it, but I'm just going to do it using fractions. So I found common denominator, so I can add them. Multiply the 20b across. Subtract 13. To get 7b, divide both sides by 7. And b is approximately 17.1 hours. So therefore, pipe B would take 17.1 hours by itself to fill the tank.